Hey everybody, Sharon here from VidGamiac.com. Here we are today back in Nekketsu High School Dodgeball Club, grabbing the Club Activity Master achievement. This is to beat the Club Activity mode using Koji on difficult in under 10 minutes. Start the game up, and then on the main menu, first off, you want to make sure you set the game mode to Club Activity. It should be the bottommost one. It's the equivalent of Beanball in Super Dodgeball. And then on the bottom tab, just move that over to the right to set the difficulty to difficult. Make sure you do this in one player, and then for the character, Koji is going to be the one on the left side in the middle. So the game is going to start. It's going to be a free-for-all where you start with the ball and your goal is to try to eliminate everyone and be the last man standing. So 10 minutes is actually a lot of time in order to get this achievement. So my best advice for the start is to just throw the ball away and then just hide off screen and let all of the AI just kill each other. So that should take maybe anywhere from 4 to 5 minutes. So it should eat up about half of your timer, which is going to be what you want. So I recommend busting out a stopwatch or something and making sure you time this part. The AI on difficult actually does a pretty good job of eliminating each other, so just make sure you stay out of the way. The reason for that is once it's down to the final two, you want to be in a position where you have way more health than the other person, so just make sure you just stick to the defensive and just turtle in the corner, making sure you stay away from the conflict and making sure you stay out of sight. Other than that, the thing you want to do is every time another player gets eliminated, what you want to do is you want to utilize the in-game save system. So just make sure you hit start and make sure you do a suspend save, and that way you could back up from it in case you get a run where they are taking too long to take each other out, and you could just load up from that save, just like any of the other Kunio-kun games. So hopefully with a little luck, your AI will take each other out as quick as possible. Personally for me, it took about 4 minutes to get down to the final 3. So make sure you pay attention to how much time you have left once you are down to the last few people. So now that we are down to 3, we have 6 minutes to work with. We can start playing more aggressively now since we have less opposition. That being said, when it is down to 3, you want to make sure you still keep defense in mind. So try your best to catch the ball if it does go in your direction, and try your best not to get between the other two players because you don't want to accidentally get hit with a shot that wasn't meant for you. So just try to keep the ball between the two and try to make sure you keep them attacking each other. And then once they have eliminated the other, it's time for you to actually play. So if you are at all familiar with Super Dodgeball, you are going to know that the Powershot is going to be your best friend when it comes to dealing mass damage. However, the thing with the Japanese version is the Powershot is a little trickier to pull off. In Super Dodgeball, to pull off a power shot, what you have to do is you have to make sure you double tap forward to start dashing, and then anywhere between the 4th and the 7th step of the dash, you need to hold the throw button, which in this version is going to be the A button. Now, the thing with the original Japanese Famicom version is for your power shot, you have to make sure you hold the button exactly on the 7th step of your dash. So if you are used to the NES version, this version might be a little trickier for you since all of your power shots are only going to come from longer dash run-ups. Combining that with this game mode's need for aiming, it might be a little tricky for you to rely on power shots, especially if you aren't used to it. So if you don't want to practice getting your power shots down, my best advice is to rely on lateral shots, aiming either up or down. And the best way to trick the AI into a spot where you can hit them with a shot like this is to start dashing. Make sure you are on a different longitude than they are, and make sure that they are parallel to you. So both of you are going to be running your lines parallel from one another. Make sure you are lined up with them, and then what you want to do is you want to make sure you hit them with a shot either going up or down. Since the AI has a hard time catching a ball that's not thrown directly towards their front, you should hit them most of the time from the side like this. So you basically want to abuse this shot for the entirety of the game. Once again, you should have about 6 minutes if the other AIs eliminated each other at about the 4-minute mark. So that should be more than enough time in order to get this done. Using this strategy, I was able to finish the game at about 7.5 minutes. So 10 minutes is enough room to pull this off. Just make sure you are aggressive in pursuing the ball once you are at this stage, and make sure you take advantage of those lineups. Also take advantage of the in-game saves. If you get a run where you aren't doing any damage, just make sure you back up your save and then try again. Always make sure you make a save if you land a hit in a short amount of time. That way you could back up from it. Keep in mind also you have 4 save slots, so make sure you take advantage of the multiple save slots and just keep working at chipping out the last opponent until you win the game, and hopefully you are quick enough to win this within the time limit. So without relying on power shots, we managed to do that in about 7.5 minutes, so best of luck to you for coming under the time limit. There's the achievement, 100 gamer score, and that's all there is to it.